Welcome everybody. Today we are on location in beautiful Satellite Beach, Florida. Welcome to Plumbing with Tim. If this is your first time here and you're looking to sharpen all your plumbing skills or just learn stuff, you came to the right place. Start by dropping down below and hitting the subscribe button. That way you're not going to miss any of my awesome videos. So earlier this week, a buddy of mine, Fred, messaged me and tells me that he purchased a vacant lot out here on the beachside, which he plans on building a new home on. Fred took the time and explained to me that on this vacant lot is an old artesian well that he wants to keep, but it's in need of repair, and he'd like to have it in a more permanent fixture, so that way he has something to irrigate his grass and stuff with once he builds his new home. Take 2 seconds here and I'm going to explain to you about an artesian well. An artesian well is usually a well that is tapped into an aquifer down below the ground, which exceeds usually between 200 to 500 feet down. This is a free-flowing well. The water pressure is usually about 20 to 30 pounds, and it's a great source and enmity to have on your property when it comes to irrigation. However, the water is high in sulfur, but down here in Florida, these plants and grass thrive on this type of water. Check it out. I found the well. Right here it is. This is an old artesian well, okay? As you can kind of see here, I'm going to show you. Somebody's made a repair. This is a Fernco. There's a second one down here. All right. These Ferncos are usually only rated for drain water, not for anything that has pressure. So this by all means is not a permanent fix. He wants that all out of there. And he wants me to set this up so he can use it and it can be effective when he decides to build his new home. Okay, so I can't be an idiot and just run in and rip things out and start working on stuff, because as soon as I take the old wellhead off there, we got free flowing water. So I'm gonna have to get some boots on and get a shovel and dig that out a little bit and start putting together some fittings and stuff. That way when we're ready to take that off, I'm ready to put the new stuff on and we have no surprises. So we're going to get set up here. We're working with 2-inch pipes, so we want to have 2-inch fixtures, you know, different fittings and stuff like that. So let's check this out. Right over here, what we're going to use is what's called a dresser coupling. This is a dresser coupling. I'll show you. We're going to kind of speed the video up, and you'll see this is going to be the connection I use to put on that well as the water keeps flowing. But before we do that, we've got a shutoff valve that we want to have in place so we can work around that water, and also, you know, reduce our bushing on a 90. This is all pressure fittings, because ultimately what we want to do is to have it so he can turn the well on and off, and also have a spigot so you can put a hose onto it and everything like that. So as I put all this stuff together and everything, before we get into that baby, we're going to prep out everything, and then we're going to get right into the mess of everything. I'm going to take 1 second here and show you how these dresser couplings work. When I unscrew them, they got 2 ends that unscrew. This is 2-inch, remember, we're working with. Inside of this is a rubber kind of ferrule or a bushing. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take both of these off of here. This is a dresser coupling. All right, there's another one of those. So what I want to do is I want to take my preferred piece of 2-inch pipe, pressure pipe that I measured out. First thing I'm going to do is take one of these collar nuts, all right, threaded end out. I'm going to slip it over that 2-inch like that. We're going to take our rubber sleeve and we're going to press it on like this. All right, and kind of slide it back in there like that. All right, now what this is going to end up doing is we're going to be able to take the coupling end that's threaded and slide it in there like so, and bring our collar nut back on there like this. See that? Now that rubber boot ring that's inside there is going, as I tighten it up, seal, so that way it can stop running water and you can work on the fly. So the first thing we need to establish on getting this well ready so we can have it set up for use is we got to install some sort of a shutoff valve. What I have here is a PVC 2-inch threaded ball valve, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to take pressurized fittings, okay, male threaded adapters, and we're going to prep these with Teflon tape. None of the pipe dope that we usually use, because we're using plastic on plastic and we don't want this to crack. And we're going to Teflon these up really good, and we're going to thread them on both ends like so. All right, and we're going to use a couple big pairs of channel locks to do so. That way when we take the wellhead off and put the dresser coupling on, we can have this all set and ready to go and shut the water off so we can complete the rest of the install. Okay, so now we have our 2-inch ball valve PVC set up with our male threaded adapters that I showed you, and I'd already put Teflon tape on there, as well as our desired piece of pipe with our dresser coupling. So what we want to do next is we're going to prep the pipe as well as the shutoff valve with primer and glue, and we're going to glue our shutoff valve onto that piece of pipe, and we're going to leave it open. So when I pop that head off of the Artesian well and all the water comes out, we're going to stuff this thing down on the head with the collar and the nut, and we're going to tighten that up while water still has somewhere to go out the top. Once I have this bottom tightened up, I can go ahead and I can cut the valve off and we can finish up with the rest of the work. Now naturally we're going to let this glue that I just glued on here, we're going to let that set up for probably at least about 20 to maybe 30 minutes, so that way when I get ready to pop the head off that old well and the water rushes up through here, this glue will be set up and I don't have to worry about losing that repair. Okay, so now that our glue is set up on our shutoff valve, what I'm going to do is I need to pop this wellhead off. I went ahead and already loosened up these straps that are on here, but before I do that I need to make sure I get my collar nut and rubber ferrule that goes on the bottom part of this dresser coupling and get it ready to go. So once I pop that thing off, I'm going to be sliding that down on the pipe and this right behind it, and then screwing this thing onto it. And I don't have a lot of time because water is going to be free flowing out of this well, and I don't care to get soaking wet. Okay, here we go. Alright, so I got to finish tightening that up. Damn. Alright, let's take a look at the final product. Look at that. A nice shutoff valve on there. I put a 90 on here, reduced it down to 3/4 inch with a T. One side for a spigot, so you get a hose up to it, and another one I capped off for future use if you wanted to do something else with that. But everything is in and we're under pressure, and that's how you fix an old wellhead on an artesian well. So there you guys have it. Hope you enjoyed this video. It's helped you one way or another. Hey, I got them all day long. you got any questions or concerns or comments, leave them down below, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Look, having an artesian well on your property is a great asset when it comes to living here in Florida, because it's free water, and these plants and the grass and stuff around here like the high sulfur content that comes from these artesian wells. So, until next time, this has been Plumbing with Tim. Keep plumbing.